Football has made it to America, ladies and gentlemen. This is 11, the Football Manager board game. This is from Portal Games. Portal Games is probably most famous for Robinson Crusoe, but Imperial Settlers, Near Hex, these are all very popular games in their lineup. This, however, is a thematic Euro, which you don't hear very often. But I played the TTS version on the channel back when this was on GameFound as a crowdfunding campaign, and I have not been this excited about a Euro game, especially with the World Cup having just ended. So let's see what we've got here. Go ahead and actually start with the playmat so we can have it beneath the rest of the unboxing. What I am noticing here, though, that there is not a spot for like the stadium. Maybe you could stick that over here, but we'll see. It looks like not everything is quite going to fit on here, but this is a really nice playmat. It's got a rubber backing, stitched edging, and it's got a place for all of your cards, as well as this is kind of like the ranking where you're going to be moving up the club's little tokens to see who is higher up in the ranking as the seasons go by. So here is the playmat. Now let's take a look at the main game. All right, so here is 11. Again, this is a Football Manager Euro. It's not a soccer or football. The game, you're not simulating the actual game or moving players around. There's no miniatures in this game. This is a pure Euro where you're actually going to work through the days of the week in the backgrounds of owning a team, and then you will set a lineup and kind of walk through a simulated game that takes just a few minutes. And then you'll work through several weeks and see how your club has come out on top. So, nice, big, fat rule book. This is, pretty standard size for Portal Games, at least. The big 12x12 rule book. There's a lot going on in here, but a fair amount of this is set up here. There is a lot of decks to set out, regular players, youngsters, veterans, tactic cards. Again, it's a Euro, so some of you might consider this to be a little fiddly, but this is easily one of the most thematic Euros I have played. And I don't think you need to be a fan of the world's most popular game in order to appreciate what you've got here. Okay, there's some player aids on the back. That's not bad. All right, so here we have, this is where you're going to be placing your lineup, and then you're going to flip over your opponent's lineup here, and you'll see where their people are defended, and you basically are comparing stats of players. What's really nice is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the surface is like, a felt fuzzy. It has some texture to it. It's not just cardboard. So it has that grass-like feel to it. And there are 4 of these boards, so you can play this game multiplayer, but you're never going head-to-head with an actual player. You're always going to be simulating playing against some other team, and you're basically just trying to, have a better outcome in the season, not beat one of your friends head-to-head. So that is that. This is, score tracker here. I'm assuming this is a little cutout for a token. Here's where you're going to be putting the cards of your elite players who have actual stats versus just a basic number. And then here you roll on this table at the end to see if people get injured, or maybe you get bonuses depending on wins, lose, or draw. All right, what else do we got here? And these are, not double-sided. They're just plain green on the back. Okay, then we have the player boards for everybody. So there's going to be 4 of these as well. They appear to be all the same. They're not like different colors or anything. Same green on the back. But this is going to track what your statistics are. This is your income, how much income you're making per week. I believe this is fitness level, strength training. I can't remember what all of these stand for, but basically these are going to go up and down. This is a dual layer board, which is really nice. These are recessed areas. here is where your board is going to be. So you'll actually have board members who are going to help make decisions. You can work them in and out, and then this is kind of tracking the days of the week here. The weekend is match day, Monday is board meeting day, and then you have the 3 days in between to do all the Euro-y type stuff that a typical football manager would have to go through. All right, then we have our stadium boards here, and again, there's 4 of these. So like I said, this playmat here appears to just be, I guess, for the community area. So this is definitely going to be a table hog. I can just see that now because there's 3 full-size player boards here. But this is your stadium. This is where you're going to be able to get sponsors for your jerseys, and you'll tuck the card in here and it'll kind of look like a t-shirt. Or you can fill your stands, or you can have message boards, advertisement boards, things like that. You can upgrade your stadium in these places. And again, these are all recessed boards, so everything's just going to slide in there real nicely. Super nice production value so far of what I'm seeing here. All right, this should be, I'm not going to spend too much time on that backside. This is the solo mode. So essentially it's a set of 6 scenarios, and then there's a whole nother box here of a larger campaign. That's one of the extra add-ons that I picked up. And so this is basically going to be, the gameplay doesn't change at all. Again, you are really just trying to, when you play multiplayer, it's very self-contained, and you're just trying to outdo the other players. There is some competition for players and sponsors and things like that, but other than that, you're not directly interacting with the other players. And so this, I hope, is going to be an excellent solo game, and these scenarios will kind of help drive your little mini campaign. Advanced rules and game found leaflet. Okay, so goodness gracious, transferring players. I don't think we're going to dive into this. I'm just curious as to what the game found content is. Okay, here we go. So this is all the stuff that was unlocked in the Kickstarter campaign. Mini market expansion, unique setup cards here. What else did they do? Wooden screen printed jersey tokens. Oh, the grass on the board. So I guess if you pick this up on retail, it's not going to have grassy boards. Again, all dual layer, upgraded tokens. So I feel like this is one that if you can get your hands on the Kickstarter, this one, the little upgrades that they've added might be worth it. It's not like a box of stretch goal content. It's not a box of miniatures or anything like that. It's all like quality of life upgrades for the game. So here we have a whole bunch of cardboard tokens. These are going to be the teams. I'll lift this up so you guys can see that. The teams that you can choose. Now I do have the International Cup expansion, which I believe is going to show off some more recognizable teams. But like Dafton United, I don't think is a real team. Here we have some of your stadium upgrade boards. I'm not sure what this board is for. Weather maybe? I don't know. They've added so much stuff to this game since it was on TTS during the Kickstarter. All right, and here you can see a lot more stadium upgrades, bonuses, things like that. Not 100% sure what that board is either. I thought this was an add-on, but it's a free little dice tray, so there you go. It's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's good size. Like I said, you're not rolling a ton of dice. It's a cute little add-on. All right, lots of nice wooden bits here. Wooden strength tokens. We got, I think this is the first player marker, a whistle. These are going to be the markers that are going to be in your player boards here. Forget what these mark, but a little trophy for whoever wins the game. Pass this around your gaming group. This is entirely unnecessary, but that's okay. All right, we've got some regular wooden cubes. I think this is essentially what this is replacing. I could be wrong. Got some money, currency, all this extra stuff. That's just replacing cardboard chits here. Then you have all these jerseys. These are going to represent your players. And if you have a unique player with a specific number, like Ribeiro here has number 5, then you would just find the number 5 jersey. The ones with the balls saying they're offense, and the ones with the shields are defensive-minded players. What else we got in here? There's a whole bunch of fun stuff. A little scoring tablet for league game. This must be some kind of player aid without words. Interesting. Nice player aids. This is replaced by the neoprene mat, so we shouldn't need this anymore, but look at this, it goes even higher. Now, I did get a second one of these. Let's see. I don't know if this is meant to be a replacement, or did they send me a second one? This was just included. 24, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I don't see a difference. If you do, please point it out. But anyways, they appear to be the same size. Anyways, got 2 of those in case you want to extend the season. All right, and then we got a whole bunch of cards. So let's move all this other stuff out of the way. These are going to be your player cards here. Lots of cards. Cardboard insert here at the bottom. Not too bad. I got too much in here to pull the bottom out, but I'll let you know if there was something underneath. Okay, so here is the kind of transfer area, I think they're calling it, player mat. Essentially, this is where all the cards are going to be laid out. There's lots of cards, lots of choices that you can make to purchase throughout the game. A couple of these don't have spots on this board, but I just thought this was a nice way to represent the cards. So let's start at the top here. First of all, you have the youngster deck. So the youngster deck all look like this, very basic on the front, nondescript. You can see no number, and so you're going to shuffle this up and place it down here, and you're only drawing from the top. But you can see once they're trained, they have various other abilities, scoring versus defense, things like that. So this is where the youngsters go. Then the ones turned sideways are the discard pile. This is the veteran deck here, which are set off to the side because you can't just pick up a veteran by any means. They're not just out here for display. So there's very few of them. I just put them up there to help remind me. And then they also have a trained side like so. And then you kind of have your standard players. These are going to be dealt out into this row here like so. And you'll notice that there's 5 cards, but there's this definite partition. Normally, only these 3 are available to you, and the cards slide down as you purchase these 3. Special circumstances allow you to pick from this higher up row, and then your just draw pile here, you can see who's coming. But again, gives you the amount you need to purchase them, whether they're offense or defense, where they play on the field. So this guy's an offensive-minded defender, what his strength is, what his number is, some additional effects. And then on the backside, each one of them has, upgrade abilities or trained sides. So there's those guys. Then we have our staff cards. So before we get into those, there are these 4 first trainer cards, which I believe are the same. It's just like a male and female version, depending on what you want to play. So each person, it's a 4-player game, each person is going to get a first trainer card dealt to them randomly because they are asymmetrical. But everybody's going to get a first trainer card. You can flip it to whatever side you want. And then these are the remainder of the staff cards. And I have not shuffled these, so you're going to see a lot of the same ones. But here again, same thing. You'll always have access to these 3. Special conditions allow you to pull from this stack. Everything slides down. And here's the discard pile. Again, same thing. Purchase how much it costs to purchase them, what set they fit in. So you can see that like these 3 guys here are green, which means if you had all 3 of these guys on your staff, you'd be getting the set bonus of 5. Whereas this person's kind of a teal color, this person's a yellow, so they would have to fit in their own set. Anytime you see the word bonus, that's an instant effect. And then anytime you see the word action, given that you pay the resources over here, you get that. Or a feature is like a persistent bonus, things like that. There's also this set here, and you guys can give me your opinion or not. To me, this deck in my right hand seems more purple than this deck. This is the only instance where I could tell there was a definitive difference. Maybe it's just my eyes, but these are like the Kickstarter exclusive staff cards. I just wanted to show them off because they are very interesting. So you got your mascot here. You've got a pet, kind of an ode to the queen. You have a former star who can be added to the game, a loan manager, a video analyst, this guy that's just a question mark. I don't know what what role he plays, and then an underworld mobster and a sponsor manager. So these are the Kickstarter exclusives. I think once they're in here, you're not really gonna, once you get playing, you're not really gonna notice. Probably if you sleeve them, you wouldn't even notice a very thin difference, but to me it seemed more purple. All right, then you have your sponsor cards here. All of them have the sponsor that's on the back, because if you purchase this card as a t-shirt sponsor, it's going to slide into your stadium board and you'll be able to see it. So you can kind of see who's coming up next. But for the most part, these are going to sit like this. Again, 3 always available, 2 kind of, and some of these are, you know, the Kickstarter exclusives here, like, you know, Dice Tower, Watch It Played, Rado runs through it. So these are all, you know, board game channels who got their chance to have a sponsorship. But what you're seeing here is if you choose to gain a sponsor, it actually doesn't cost you anything. But depending on how you want to gain them as a sponsor, depends on what benefit you're going to get. So a simple shout out allows you to just gain this money and then you discard the card. So you're going to shout out for The Last Stand here or Broadway. They're going to give you $5 to do that. Or you can have them as an ad board sponsor. You can have up to 3 ad board sponsors. You can choose to either gain this benefit, which is a one-time benefit of 3 money plus an ongoing, you're building up your engine +1, or you can take what this bonus is here in the white. And if you gain them as a t-shirt sponsor, but you can only ever have one t-shirt sponsor and you can't just get rid of them, you gain both the money benefit here and this benefit. And then there's a little flavor text about what's on the back. But I think this is a really nice touch that they've made it so that you can actually view who your t-shirt sponsor is. If they become an ad board sponsor, they slide under your board thus far, and there's their ad. So there's those. All right. Then we have your tactics cards. These are going to be cards that you're going to be dealt at least 1 at the beginning of the game, possibly 2, I can't remember. Some of them just have, you know, basic formations. These are the formations that you're going to have to set up your team in. So obtaining more of these may be to your benefit. And even when you spend 1 at the beginning of a match, you're going to get it back. So others have this effect here, and you would have to decide, am I going to, and I believe these basic ones are the ones you get first. You could gain a tactic cards through means where here you could either do a 4, 5, and 1, or you can flip any jersey marker, but you can't do both. So these little tactics cards, everybody's going to get a basic formation card. Here are your objective cards. These you deal out 2 per player, and they choose 1 to keep and keep secret. So this means win the league match in the 5th week. All right, so you got to, if you win your league match in the 5th week, you're going to gain 2 victory points. Here, if you do it perfectly, also win it with a goal difference of at least 2. So you win it by more than 2 goals, you gain an additional 2. So this is just a secret objective that's going to add to your victory points at the end of the game. Then you have your board meeting cards. So let's just quickly look at our board deck over here. These are your board of directors. You're going to be dealt 3. There's going to be a draft for the 3 at the beginning of the game. And once you have your 3, you're stuck with them. But you'll notice that some of these guys have different pips equals different colors, because they're more, red is more oriented towards the fan base, blue is more oriented towards the players, and yellow is more oriented towards money. Each one of these guys also has different bonuses on the bottom, things like that. So you're going to have 3 of these out on your player board, and then you're randomly going to be given one of these board of director cards. Everybody's going to get a different one, and you're going to roll your dice. This is one of the few times you roll dice in the game, and say you roll a 4, and these were your 3 directors. Well, this guy's a red for 4, this guy's a blue for 4, and this guy's a blue. So it's 2 votes for blue and 1 for red. Blue trumps in that case. So you would then do the blue thing. This is what you would have to deal with. To the team, new board games in the player's home. So -1 strength, place 1 additional strength token on any of your defenders. If you want to re-roll your dice, you can spend fan base tokens to re-roll the die to try and get a different result from your board of directors. So there's that. This is the transfer cards. These were Kickstarter exclusives. I'm not 100% sure what these are doing, other than the fact that if you transfer a player, you might be getting some bonus depending on what type of player they are. There's no spot for these on the board, so they're just sitting there. And then last but not least, you have your opposing team cards. These give you a scouting report, so a little bit of information on the team, and you get to see this leading up to your match day. So throughout the week, you know what formation they're running and a little bit about the team and who they are. Then I'm only going to flip one over because this gives you then their lineup, and it's opposite of yours. So your offensive players would be matching up against these guys, midfield to midfield, wingers to wingers. Here's their goalie, so on and so forth. And these guys are Division 1. You can see there's like Division 2 and 1, 3 and 2, and then just straight Division 3. This hopefully is enough cards, and this is a pretty decent stack of cards. This is my one concern about the game, is that if you play it so much, you may have these guys memorized. But this is the biggest stack of cards that we received in the game, some of which were Kickstarter exclusives, but I'm hoping that if this game is a success, that they just continue to produce more of these cards, just to create the randomness of the game and not knowing what your opponent's going to throw at you. So that's that. And I believe we have now covered all of the cards that came with the game. Again, this is a very card-heavy game. It's a Euro game. It's going to be a table hog once we get it to the board. But let's go ahead and just take a look at some of our additional things that came in the box. These were add-ons, I believe, as part of the Kickstarter. So these are unique setup cards. I'm not 100% sure what that means, other than possibly additional bonuses. So maybe you would pass these out. I don't think you can use these in solo mode. So maybe this is an additional spot to upgrade your stadium, things like that. So there's a red side and a green side. So yeah, these are the additional setup cards. And then we already discussed that there was this thing here, which is just an extension of the league board. I have no idea what the difference is or why I have two. But there you go. All right, so let's clean all this up and then take a look at the expansions: International Cup, Stadium expansion, and Solo Campaign expansion. Up first, we have the International Cup expansion. So, to my knowledge, this is supposed to simulate as best as they could without, having certain rights to FIFA, simulating the World Cup. So this is playing against 14 international opponents, single elimination tournament. This would be a good way if you had a ton of friends who are into board games and soccer at the same time. You guys could get together for a little fun night of competition. All right. Hopefully all of this stuff will fit into the box, because that expansion box is not really much to it here. So we've got this both says 1+, 2+ players on each side. This is double-sided. Appears to be the same, but I'm assuming this is how you kind of track instead of using the league board. This is how you would track everything. Let's see what we've got here. We have an International Cup board, a rule book, board meeting cards, player team markers, and opponent's team markers. Opponent cards and the final opponent card. So, yeah, these are certainly not based on real international teams, which is a little unfortunate. I thought maybe we might, they might have been able to just put the country. I mean, I guess that's like Japan. I don't really recognize any other country directly. Maybe that's Brazil. But these are going to be 1 to 4 players, and then these are all the opponents. players here. All right, let's see if I can quickly dive into some of these and just take a look at one of the opponent's cards. Looks like you've got special board meeting cards. Don't know if those are just supposed to get mixed in or not. I'm not going to spoil the final opponent here. So it's 4 of those. And then, all right, so let's just take a look at Sparta here. It's hard to find any weakness in this team. Most of the players focus on defense, so they rarely score. Okay. And that is a beefed up team right there. So I'm wondering if when you play this expansion, whether you get to take in a team that you have created through the regular game. Do you play through a full game of 11 and then take your team into cup matches? This also says that they have rules for player versus player matches. So that's an interesting bit there. So there you go. That's the International Cup expansion. Mainly just this board, some tokens, and a whole set of cards for the opposing teams. Okay, up next is the Stadium expansion. So this is adding some asymmetrical stadiums. It says we're going to get some additional board meeting cards, additional stadium infrastructure, and some new staff. So we've got a rule book here. Well, maybe not additional stadiums. Okay, I thought it would give us new stadium boards, but it's just new infrastructures. So we've got things like retractable roof, youth training pitch. These are very different, and each one of them appears to be different. HR office, VAR, food truck, shirt printing stand, a gym. I was under the impression that they were going to be unique stadium boards, so that's a little disappointing. But yeah, additional sponsor cards. So let's take a look and see what the fun sponsor cards look like. Staff cards, unique stadium infrastructures, because everybody pushed for this to be emulating real life stadiums. So there's board meeting cards. Here are the sponsor cards, and then some additional unique objectives and staff. So let's see what we got here. Highway, Predaporter. Okay, so that's a board game. Standalone constructions, sticky stickers, Gonshong Clever. I'm assuming that's supposed to be imitating football forests. Chez supporter, Better, Rent a Limo, and Football TV. Okay. So there's those. And then last but not least, hopefully the best of the 3 will be our solo campaign expansion. Alright, last but hopefully not least is the solo campaign expansion. So before we dive into this, there were 2 expansions. I did not choose to go to the all-in package. I just kind of ad hoc picked up the add-ons that I wanted, or I felt like I would need. I did not pick up the international players or the unexpected events. Those were both listed for advanced play, and I wanted to be able to experience the game first to decide whether I wanted to make it more difficult or not. So, just so you know, this is not all there is. If you are expecting an all-in pledge coming your way, then you will have slightly more to view than this. All right. That's all that's in that box. So we've got the solo campaign expansion here. We have some additional board meeting cards, objective cards, solo cards, director cards, and a solo campaign scenario sheets. All right. So our sheets here are like folded up, I guess. Here is the scenario sheets that came with the game. It's nice that they're not folded. I guess they wanted to keep all the boxes uniform in size. That's a little disappointing because, yeah, these would not have fit. But we'll see. I'm not going to jump into these because I don't want to spoil anything. But we will take a look at some of these solo cards here. All right, objectives, First Division Cup. Hold on, I'm just going to peek at these. Not sure what those are. Any player. For the next match, the national team desperately needs any player. Nothing happens. Okay. These, I believe, are the solo cards, because these are additional directors and additional board meeting cards. Ooh, but some specific for the club. Maybe we have to be Middleham. All right, so Royalford, Dafton United, Find Support, Battle of the Dales. Okay, These are like objective cards, lose or draw or win. Interesting. So I'm not 100% sure how these are different. Obviously, all these cards are adding some different stuff into it. We will eventually get around to getting through all of these rule books. The rest of these cards look like they just mix in with the standard decks. Up next for 11, as far as this channel is concerned, will be a storage solution, hopefully fitting it all in this main box. This main box was already packed to the gills. It was bulging out, but I'm hoping that that's because a lot of the Kickstarter content was duplicated. As far as resources and tokens are concerned, there was a cardboard version and a wooden version. If we take out all the cardboard, hopefully everything, including these 3 expansions, will fit in the box, since they were mainly just cards. There wasn't anything huge about these expansions. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, we will be getting to a how to play video. And if you guys are interested in possibly some of the solo campaign as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more than I listed, please let me know in the comment section below, especially if you would like to see any extended campaign playthrough on the channel from 11. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.